Order, order. I call Dr. Matthew Offord to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Nuttall. I beg to move that this House has considered the influence of Iran in the Middle East. I believe that Iran is a leading sponsor of state terrorism, providing financial material support to extremist Islamist terrorist groups across the Middle East, including Hamas, Hezbollah and the insurgency in Afghanistan and Iraq. Iran actively sponsors international terror groups committed to the destruction of Israel, which acts as proxies for the Islamic Revolution. I place on record that the people of Iran are a fine collective with a remarkable history in the region. However, the modern-day Iran, ruled by the mullahs, is a theocratic regime based on the principle of rule of law by Islamic jurists. Since the election of President Rouhani in 2013, Iran's relations with the international community have slowly improved, but its domestic human rights abuses, nuclear program and support for international terrorism continue unchecked. While Iran's president runs the economy and influences day-to-day decisions, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has the final say on most major issues, including national security and Iran's nuclear program. The country works not only with foreign states in promoting its ideological agenda, but also proxies such as Hamas, Hezbollah and Daesh. But firstly, I discuss Syria. Iran views Syria as a valuable line of communication into Lebanon to support the militant Iranian proxy organisation Hezbollah. I will do.
Gentleman for giving way, and as he moves on to the specifics, if I can just take back to the general, isn't the fact that being a vicious dictatorship at home, like so many such in history, actually also makes those states a menace to their neighbours as well. So I would hope that his contribution, the honourable member, will be looking firstly at the destabilisation in the Middle East, but also at the incredible repression and whether we can do more to support the opposition to this vile regime.
And that is that Iran has passed a new counter-terrorism law to try and clean the country up. At least that's what it claims to be. But it does not include Hezbollah and Hamas. And does he agree with me that that is the most worrying sign of all?
Would he also include Pyongyang and Yemen on his list of Iranian spheres of influence?
What that deal, of course, was dealing with nuclear capacity in Iran, but there was a missed opportunity to tackle some of the state-sponsored terrorism and other underlying causes of instability in the Middle East, and that is something that we will look to America now to do with the new president.
Iran's belligerence and expansionism is not simply a threat to our friends in the region, it's also a direct threat to Europe. So Europe should stand up for itself and stand by Israel and ensure that the international repudiation of Iran's repeated threats against Israel is unequivocal.
Iran and its proxies are now heavily involved in conflicts in Syria, Iraq and Yemen. I agree with the Honourable Member for Hendon in his analysis that Iran is now the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, providing financial and material support to extremist Islamist terrorist groups across the Middle East, including Hezbollah, Hamas and insurgent groups in Afghanistan and Iraq. And of course the Iranian government enjoys a long-standing relationship with Al-Qaeda, to whom it provides travel assistance.
Congratulate the Honourable Member for Hendon in securing this important debate. Iran has an appalling human rights record at home and is a dangerous promoter of international terrorism abroad. At home, dissent is not tolerated. Baha'is, Christians, Sunni Muslims and Sufis all face attack. 90 Baha'is are currently in prison, including 7 national Baha'i leaders for allegedly disturbing national security and so-called espionage.
Mr Nuttall, the influence of Iran in the Middle East is dreadful. I'm not going to repeat all the points that colleagues are making. Killing, torturing people, absolutely disgraceful. And the Honourable Member for Liverpool Riverside was absolutely spot on when she spoke about the way Israel has been treated. I mean, talking about wiping the state of Israel out of existence is absolutely disgraceful. So I do hope, Mr Nuttall, that the Minister would take seriously something that Mrs Mariam Rajavi said the leader of the NCRI, on the 17th of January 2017 about the Iranian regime.
We need to have positive engagement from Britain and from other partners. That is only better for the people of Iran and better for us.
I'd like to thank the member for Enfield North who spoke about threats to Israel, the Right Honourable member for Chipping Barnet who spoke about human rights in Iran, the member for Liverpool Riverside spoke about human rights, the member for Southend spoke about US influence, the member for Strangford, who again shared concerns, spoke about human rights, the member for Harrow East, who spoke about the US relationship, the member for Henley, who spoke about terrorist funding, the member for Enfield Southgate, who not only suggested that I have this debate in the week of Nowruz, but also about Christians in the country, and the members for Glasgow North and Leeds. And finally, I'd like to thank the member for Ribble South for all that she said, and I certainly take to heart, and one day I hope that she and myself can go to Iran.
Order.